All right, good morning, 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins elite fans. Thank you for joining us early this Sunday morning for this 8 a.m. game between the visiting Oakland Junior Grizzlies and your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins elite for game number 3 on the season. And this rounds out a 3-game series between the Oakland Junior Grizzlies and your Pens elite team here from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. A good start to the season as both netminders Max Dragosic and Luka Thompson both start out 1-0 with victories yesterday. First game was a 5-1 win over Oakland, and that led to a 9-1 win yesterday afternoon. As we get set here, 15 minutes on the clock. And it looks like starting up front for the Penguins, had a hat trick in game number 2 yesterday at center. Number 8, Connor Wilson. Also adding a couple of goals on his left wing. Number 25, Blake Paris. And on the right wing, number 11, Colt Davis. And on the backside, left-handed defenseman Nico Stark manning the left defensive spot. And on the side, also left-handed, Noah Welch. Noah Welch now possesses this puck. He's going to bring it into the offensive zone. He gets stopped up high in the zone. He's going to dump this deep, where Connor Wilson and Colt Davis try to retrieve that puck. It's going to be floated up the wall here, but picked off by Connor Wilson to keep it in the zone. Tries to send it deep. It's going to pop over the stick of Nico Stark. Stark's going to try to throw this over to his defensive partner. Noah Welch is in a foot race now with number 66. He backhands it off the wall. Tried to go to Colt Davis with it. Welch contest as well as number 8, Connor Wilson. Wilson now has it on his backhand, floats it up to Blake Paris. Blake Paris is going to take this out of the zone, back to center. The Pens are going to go for a change. Staying on the forecheck here is number 11, Colt Davis. Now being joined by Brady Fritchie coming up from his D spot to keep this in the zone. Applying pressure is 93, Riker Ferguson. Still on here is 11, Colt Davis. As he's now going to go to the bench for a change. It's going to go all the way down the ice for an icing as Nanavisa goes back for that puck. So we'll go into the offensive zone here. As Bingham Green, Riker Ferguson, and Mason Fritchie step in for this draw, joined by CJ Nanavisa and Brady Fritchie. Players getting set here. 14:40, correction, 14:29 now on the clock. As the puck's going to be held up on the wall here by Mason Fritchie, number 4. On to help out is Riker Ferguson. Ferguson comes out of the fray with the puck. He's got a man in front, tries to find him. It's Bingham Green. A beautiful pass there from Riker Ferguson. Finds the open man, Bingham Green. Puts it right into the back of the net, and that's an early 1-0 lead for your Pens elite boys. With 14:13 to go in the first period, a pretty passing play from Riker to Bingham. And it's in the back of the net, 1-0 game. Pens are going to stay with the same grouping here on the ice as Ferguson steps in for the draw. Fritchie comes over from his left wing position to play the puck. And it's chipped back into the neutral zone where his brother Brady Fritchie picks it up, tries to move it to Nanavisa. Nanavisa is able to separate Anderson, number 88, from the puck. As Connor Wilson, freshly on the ice, tries to get this puck, dances around Loyan now, does the Grizzlies player, headmans the puck up to 89. He's separated by Wilson. As Brady Fritchie goes to collect the puck, he chips it up the wall to Wilson. Wilson tries to work it around a man, unable to do so. Puck's going to be centered in the slot. 88 now has it. He's forced to the ground here by strong defensive play by a couple of Penguins as Wilson now is going to try and bring this further. Welch now has the puck. He has it. He's going to backhand it over to Loya. Had to be careful there not to get a too many men call as Pens are trying to get onside, but can't do so here as the whistle blows. Borman goes in, but ahead of the play, I think may have been Bingham Green. So we'll have another neutral zone face-off here as stepping in for this draw. Connor Wilson, Easton Borman, Brooks Gaworski. On the backside, Loya and Welch. Puck's going to be won back now to Grant Loya. As 66 is going to come out of this puck. He's trying to work around Welch. It's going to be gloved down easily by Dragicic. As we have a D-zone face-off. With 13:08 on the clock here. First period action. Early goal by Bingham Green after being set up by Riker Ferguson. Wilson's going to win this draw back cleanly to Loya. Loya's going to throw it up the wall to Brooks Gaworski. Gaworski tried to find Wilson with a pass. Wilson's going to try and catch up to that puck. Borman now pushes it along further. Puck's going to be taken behind the net by 91. He's going to swing it over to his winger. That's 66. 66 falls down as Gaworski applies some pressure. Borman tries to work out of there. As the puck's going to be set behind the net. But it's contested by Riker Ferguson. He's able to keep this deep in the zone. Welch is going to send this over to Loya. But it comes out of the zone. As Blake Paris now brings it in. Paris tries to feed Colt Davis. Colt Davis centering pass attempt to the stick of Paris. As Blake keeps control of this puck as he crashes in the boards. Colt Davis is in alone, goes to his backhand, just slips off his stick there. May have been poked at the last second there by the Grizzlies defender. Good look there from Paris and Davis trying to connect. As it finds the stick again of Colt Davis, he again tries to go to his backhand. Now it goes to the point man. That's Brady Fritchie. Puck is found by Connor Wilson. Tried a wrap move, just slips off of his stick now. Pens are getting opportunities there, just unable to complete them. As we are under the 12-minute mark, 11:44 to go in the first period. Another offsides call. We've had quite a few neutral zone faceoffs in the first two games here. Early season action. As Connor Wilson steps in again, joined by Fritchie, Green, Loya, and Nenavisa. Loya's going to send this down the ice for... No, they're going to wave icing off here. As number 8 goes back, he's challenged by our number 8, Connor Wilson. Wilson comes out of there, wins the puck battle, moves it back to Loya. Loya's going to snap the shot from the point. Right pad save from the netminder. Back in net is netminder number 39. He played the first game, had a strong game against the Pens Elite boys. And the Grizzlies are going to force this back to center off the boards as Grant Loya is going to hustle over to try and get this puck as 98 pressures him. Throws it over to Mason Fritchie. Fritchie's going to stick this as the Grizzlies are making a change. Fritchie may have a chance here. He's being hauled down, still able to get a strong shot into the equipment of netminder number 39. 10:54 to go. The Pens are going to change up their troops, as are the Grizzlies. Ferguson now steps in for the faceoff. He's with Borman and Gaworski. Puck's going to be thrown up the wall. And back to the neutral zone. As a delayed penalty calls coming up here as Riker Ferguson, it looks like, got into the equipment of a Grizzlies player. So the Pens are going to have to go to the first penalty kill of the game. As Riker Ferguson's going to go to the box for a minute 30 for a trip. To reset the scene here, if you're joining us early this morning, Pens got a 1-0 lead on a Bingham Green goal off of a Riker Ferguson setup. And we stand now 10:39 to go in the first period. 1 minute 30 penalty is up on the board as the Noah Welch is going to take this behind the net. He's now going to toss this to his D partner. That's Nico Starks. Starks going to softly throw this back to center to kill some time off the penalty call to Riker Ferguson. Starks going to come across. He backhands this softly. As the Pens are going to change up their Deep pairing here on the PK. Fritchie and Nenevisa now on. Borman harassing off the post. Off of a shot from 91. Just over the glove side of Max Dragicic. To keep this a 1-0 game. The puck's going to sail all the way back into the Grizzly zone as the Penguins change their PK unit. As Blake Parrish, who had a shorthanded goal yesterday, steps onto the ice. Brady Fritchie comes over to play Connor. He wins that puck battle. But the Grizzlies are able to come out of there with the puck. Wrap move off the left pad of Dragicic. Harris is going to send this back to the point. 44 takes a long shot, deflects in on the stick of Brady Fritchie. He's going to throw it behind the net. It hits a shin guard and comes back out to Blake Parrish now. Blake Parrish is going to try the Grizzly defenders 1-on-2. One's turned the wrong way. Parrish is going to try and work through there and does get the puck through. As it's going to be backhanded off the right pad by Colt Davis. It's thrown back to the point man. Loya has it. Out of the box comes Ferguson. As we're back to even strength here, it's going to be thrown back to center. As Welch is going to take this now. And he's going to try to lead this rush. No, Welch is going to walk into the offensive zone. He stops up, delays, tries to find Colt Davis. Does find Colt Davis. Can't get a shot through, though. As Connor Wilson now comes over to play this puck on the half wall, it goes to Grant Loya. Loya goes back to Wilson. Wilson now has it. And it comes back to the point man. That's Grant Loya. Loya surveys the scene. Long shot, wide of the net. Brady Fritchie has it at the point. It's going to be knocked off his stick. 88 has a chance. He's in by himself. Shot taken over the bar, though. Dangerous opportunity there for Anderson, number 88. Dragicic was able to stare him down. 8:08 to go in the first period. Neutral zone play underway right now as Seven's going to go back to retrieve the puck for the Grizzlies. Moves it to his D partner, number 12. 12 off of a stick of Bingham Green. And to the stick of Brady Fritchie. Fritchie to his brother Mason. Mason's got Green going with him. Finds Green behind the slot. Bingham Green takes the shot and it deflects into the net. Bingham Green for the second time cashes in right in front of the netminder. Green, Bingham Green with his second goal of the period to make it a 2-0 game. Found the soft spot there, took the feed, did not hesitate, and he snapped it over. Netminder number 39. It's a 2-0 game. 7:46 to go now in the first period. As the Pens hop out to an early lead here. As Nico Stark is going to try and headman this puck. It's deflected off of 91, but our 93, Riker Ferguson, picks it up. He's in on net, backhands it off the side of the net. Easton Borman now is looking for more. He reverses to Riker Ferguson, who hustles over to that puck. Ferguson's going to chip this now behind the net. Gaworski's hauled down. As it comes all the way to the point man, that's Nico Stark. Stark's going to throw this low. He was looking for Borman. It goes behind the net now. As it comes back to the neutral zone area, Wilson's going to regroup, moves it to Stark. Stark right back to Borman. Pens back in on the attack. They're going to change up their D pairing here. As Borman now is looking for an option, he's going to try and throw this back to Loya. Loya's able to keep it in the zone, though. Thought he was able to, but comes out of the zone. It's going to be an offsides call. Another neutral zone face-off coming up. Shot totals right now a little bit lopsided. Pens lead 7. Grizzlies 1. Had a couple of looks for the Grizzlies, but they missed the net. As the Penguins try to get back on the attack here. Comes back to the neutral zone. Loya's knocked off his skates. Nothing called. Could be a 2-on-1 that develops here. 3-on-1. 13 comes in. Backhands it. Shut down by Dragicic. As Blake Parrish brings it back to center. Headmans it up to Grant Loya. He's going to move back to his defensive position. As back to center come the Grizzlies. Glove down by Parrish. He gets it to himself. Parrish coming in with a head of steam. Tries to hit Connor Wilson. Just ahead of the play, though. Colt Davis now gets this puck at the top of the dots. Knocked off of his stick. Comes to Nico Stark. Takes a long shot, deflects off the netminder. As the Grizzlies could not play that puck. Stark's going to move this over to Welch. Welch is going to try and headman this puck up to Connor Wilson, and does. Puck's now clogged up here high in the zone. It's under a couple of bodies. Squirts free to Welch. Welch now has this puck. He's got Paris going with him. Welch is going to shoot this puck. And it's going to be covered up by Blake Paris. Or correction, a rebound attempt by Blake Paris is going to be covered up by netminder number 39. Another offensive zone faceoff now with 5:33 in the clock. 9-2 the shot total. 2-0 on the scoreboard in favor of the PPE boys. Fritchie, Fergie, and Green. The forward grouping, Stark and Welch on the backside. Puck's going to be won back here and out of the zone as Welch is going to retrieve this puck. It's going to be knocked off of him here as he's slowed down. Welch is going to step up here, knocks the puck forward to Fritchie. As Nico Stark tries to bring it back into the offensive zone. It's going to be knocked back into the Pens D zone as they were going for a change. So Welch is going to stay on here. He's not going to pick it up. He gets his head up. He goes to Nico Stark. As wide open here in the slot is the Grizzlies, shut down by Dragicic. As the Pens getting hemmed in here. Pens are going to just be content to ice this puck. Face-off's going to be won back to Nenevisa. Nenevisa moves it to Borman. Borman ships it around everybody. And it's going to be thrown right back into the zone. 4:16 to go in the first period. Brady Fritchie's going to get this puck up to Wilson. But it's going to be shot right back into the Pens D zone. Nenevisa now goes back for this puck. As Wilson tries to man, 88 off the boards. Shut down by Brady Fritchie. As he's able to keep that shot from getting through. Connor Wilson's now going to bring it back to center. He's got Borman and Gorski going with him. Tries to go to Gorski. Does find the stick of Gorski. Right blocker save by Gorski here. It's going to be thrown all the way back down to the ice. Ferguson stepped onto the ice, but Wilson was not off yet. So the Pens, second time this year, are going to end up with a too many men call. And they're going to be shorthanded to kill off their second penalty of the game. As the penalty is going to be served by number 8, Connor Wilson. Harris, Davis, Welch, and Loya on to kill this penalty again. 3:43 to go on the clock. Minute 30 on the board for the PK for the Pens. 59 is now going to possess the puck. He's going to chip it. Almost a chance there for Paris to get it out of the zone as it's going to come high in the zone now to 44. He's walking down Wall Street here. Shot taken. Left pad saved there by Dragicic. 44 now has it. Welch is going to take this. It's going to go off the wall to Paris. Paris is going to lead the rush here. Had a shorthanded goal yesterday. He's going to snap the shot. And that's Blake Paris's shorthanded goal number 2 on the year. Paris was able to take that feed in the D zone, walk all the way down in the offensive zone, snaps the shot over the shoulder of netminder number 39, and it's a 3-0 game. Blake Paris, third of the year and second shorthanded goal of the year for the winger number 25. And it's a 3-0 game here. 1:01 to go on the too many men penalty being served by Wilson. And on the ice now, Mason Fritchie Bingham Green, Nico Stark, and Brady Fritchie off the remainder of this penalty. It's going to be poked off the stick of Fritchie. Offside's the call here as Saluski tried to play this puck back into the zone after it came out over the blue line. So neutral zone faceoff, 38 to go on the penalty kill. Fritchie steps in for the draw, wins it back to Stark. Stark throws it over to his D partner. That's Brady Fritchie. Fritchie's going to tip this through the neutral zone as it comes to his brother Mason Fritchie wearing number 4. Fritchie works around a couple of guys, unable to work around the last guy, though, as the Grizzlies, number 91, is going to skate this back to center. It's going to be contested by Stark nicely. Chips it right back into the neutral zone. Thrown back into the offensive zone, but Elsie was in ahead of the play. So another neutral zone face-off here coming up. Wilson will be out of the box in 8 seconds, 2:20 on the clock, 3-0 on the scoreboard. Shot totals right now, 11-4 if you're watching at home. Thanks for joining us here on Cine TV as Borman steps in for the draw. Wins it back to number 43, Grant Loya. Loya up to Gaworski. Tried to work it back to Borman here. Back to 5-on-5 action as Wilson steps back onto the ice. Is going to join the play as Nenavisa. Unable to keep it in the zone as it just squirts free. It now squirts off of his stick. It's being jumping around here as Loya tries to control. Tried to go off the wall here. Funny bounce comes right back into the zone. At the circle here is 88 as Loya picks up the puck. Goes behind the net here as Loya goes high to Gaworski. Gaworski one-touch pass to Wilson. And the transition's on here as Wilson now brings it in the offensive zone. Wilson still has the puck. Wilson to Borman. Pretty feed there. Borman was hauled down. He had a wide open cage looking at him. Penalty there probably saved a goal. As Easton Borman looking to tuck home that Connor Wilson feed, number 4, is going to go to the box for a trip. And the Pens are going to go on the power play here with 1:37 to go in the first period, looking to add to their 3-0 advantage as Ferguson, Paris, Davis, Stark, and Welcher on here. Long shot taken, blocker save there off of the stick blade of Paris. Stark now walks down the wall, shot, glove down, and swallowed up by number 39, no rebound. Same troops are going to stay on here. 1:24 to go in the period, 1:18 on the PK, or correction, on the power play. As the puck's going to squirt up the half wall here as Blake Paris tries to go to work to keep this in. Nice pass there by Fergie, trying to get this puck to Davis. Davis now has it. He's being contested. As the puck squirts out of the zone for a neutral zone faceoff. Come back to center red for this. 58 seconds to go. On the power play, Ferguson steps in for the faceoff. Picked up now by Paris. Paris walks in, still has the puck, tries to go backhand, forehand, backhand, loose in the crease here, squirts free to the stick of Riker Ferguson. He backhands it in on the netminder, still loose. Welch is going to pinch up here, tries to keep this in the zone, still has this puck. Welch is going to walk out of there. Welch tries to work this to Fergie, does, still loose, picked up by Davis, and it's in. Cole Davis picks up his first of the season. A PPG for PPE makes it 4-0 with 36.1 to go. The goal scorer, number 11, Colt Davis, puts it in. Past netminder number 39, and your Pens Elite have a 4-0 first period lead. As the puck's now possessed by Connor Wilson. As puck's going to be moved here from Wilson over to Nenevisa, and Nenevisa is going to dump this down. And it comes to the point man, Nenevisa, but that's going to be it for the first period, where the Pens are going to walk out of here with a 4-0 first period lead. Shot totals to reset 14 for Pens Elite, 4 for the Oakland Junior Grizzlies. We'll be back with period number 2, live from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. Second period action will be on very soon. Stay with us. 15 minutes and counting on the clock, as the puck's going to be headmanned up to Connor Wilson, trying to move this further. Unable to do so as number 9 gets in his way. Number 9 now has the puck for the Junior Grizzlies. Still has it. He's going to walk into the Pens D zone, pressured still by Wilson. As the Penguins number 9, Brady Fritchie, goes to collect this puck. Tries to reverse it behind the net. As Wilson now moves it further. And he skates the puck, throws a pass up to number 4, Mason Fritchie. He's going to come 1-on-2. He's got Bingham Green. Fritchie delays here. He's looking for an option. As Bingham Green now has it behind the net. He's going to work it to himself. Chips it off the wall. Tries a wrap move, a tuck move. Still loose in the crease. As 88 tries to collect this, and he's going to go high off the wall. Loy is going to move down to keep this in the zone. Bingham Green still has it. As he's looking for an option, Bingham Green's going to squirt this through. It's going to come to 88. 88's going to try to exit the zone here. Good back check there by Riker Ferguson. As the Pens are going to go right back on the attack here as Riker Ferguson tries to move this up, and does, to Easton Borman. Borman walks in now. He's going to slow things up, sends it through the lower slot there, 91. Has his stick lifted by Easton Borman, but Borman got his stick into the skates of 91. And the Pens are going to go back on the PK for the 3rd time today. Pens successfully have killed off the first 2. Minute 30 penalty being assessed to number 74, Easton Borman, the PK unit. Looks like it'll be Green and Gaworski, Loya and Welch. 13:33 on the clock. Puck is dropped here. 1 back cleanly to number 17. 17 works it right back down behind the official to his teammate number 98. Gonna be thrown in front, but picked up now by Bingham Green. Green tries to work this up to Gaworski. Hits a couple of sticks here. It's centering pass attempt, gets all the way through. Hits the equipment of Welch. And it's still loose in front. Still loose. As Gaworski follows this on. Pens shorthanded now, 49 to go on the penalty call. As 44 tries to work this back to center. 88 now brings it in on the power play attempt here for the Grizzlies. He works around Fritchie. Centering pass attempt shut down by Stark. Stark tries to move this forward. And it does get shipped out of the zone by number 45, Brooks Kowarski. Long shift here for Brooksy and Bingham Green on the PK. As it goes off the pants now at Brady Fritchie. And Gaworski's going to force this down into the zone and go for a change. Good job there by Green and Gaworski. As that's going to just about do it here on the penalty call to Easton Borman as Nico Stark pushes this deeper in the zone. We're back to 5-on-5 action. As possessing this puck now is number 98. Correction. Yeah, it is 98 that worked around Stark. Tried to get around Nenevisa now. As it's chipped deep into the zone where Nenevisa will go back to retrieve the puck. He pins his man to the wall. Knocked free now by Connor Wilson. 11:31 to go in the second period. 4-0 to score. Connor Wilson, he flies down. He's got Colt Davis going with him. Delays. Wilson takes the shot himself over the right shoulder of goaltender Colby, number 39, and it goes into the net. Connor Wilson makes it a 5-0 game. Tight angle shot there. He delayed, froze the netminder. I think the goalie may have thought he was going to go to Davis, who was streaking down the slot. Wilson decides to pull the trigger himself and puts the 5 spot up on the board for the Pens Elite. 11:23 to go in the second period now. Face off. It's going to be won by the Junior Grizzlies and back into the Pens D zone as number 12 at the point takes a long shot, goes over the glove of Dragasic. Comes near side out of the zone, off the stick of number 7. He's pressured now by Connor Wilson. Following on was Davis. Unable to handle the puck, though, as 92 now walks in for the Grizzlies. Shot taken, wide of the net. Connor Wilson picks it up. He's going to headman this puck just outside the reach of Paris. Comes back to center red, where 12, Haluski throws it back up to his forward. As hops over a couple of bodies and sticks, Connor Wilson finds it on his tape. Headman pass now to Blake Paris. He's got Davis coming with him. As Davis is the man that finds this puck. He comes low in the zone here, makes a move. It just squirts wide of the net. Couple of sticks hit the ice there as Mason Fritchie now has the puck. He has it behind the net. He's going to delay. Nice pass there to Riker Ferguson, trying to get a shot off. Comes to the stick of Nico Stark. Long shot, deflects in on the right pad. Colt Davis tries to put the rebound home. Comes once again out of the zone as Welch and Stark going to go back to retrieve this puck. Stark is collecting that right there in front of Dragasic. As Ferguson will now bring it back into the offensive zone off of his helmet. And behind the net comes number 91, Elsie. Pinching down as Welch here to try and keep this in. And out of the zone, it comes to Nico Stark. Stark up to Fritchie. Mason Fritchie now high in the slot. Long shot just outside the net. Deflection attempt off the backside of Colby by Bingham Green. Squirts free to the stick of Nenevisa. 9:20 to go in the second period. 18-6 the shot totals. Applying some pressure now are the Junior Grizzlies. Shot blockers saved by Dragasic. Deflects in on him. Dragasic finds this puck. Puck sitting in the back of the net right now, but the whistle had blown. Not sure. Looks like a hand pass potentially was called here. So it'll be brought outside of the zone into the neutral zone. (9:10 to go in the second period. Puck squirts free at center red. Brady Fritchie pushes it along further. Goes back into the Pens D zone. Back to get this puck, number 9, Brady Fritchie. He's pressured now. On to help out, number 8, Connor Wilson. Wilson has Fritchie going with him. He does go to Fritchie. Fritchie goes right back to Wilson. Tipped in on net, off the glove of goalie number 39. It squirts free high in the zone. A little too much heat on that. It goes on beyond the stick of Loya. Loya now stops up. Goes up to Gaworski with this puck. Off the stick of Brooks Gaworski, who was hauled down as he was trying to transition offense there. So the Pens are going to have their second power play of the game. 17 goes to the box. They're 1 for 1 on the power play today. And they're looking for more here. 5-0 game, 8:28 to go in the second period. Shot totals right now 19-8 as 17 sits down for the next minute 30. Unless the Pens power play has something to say about it. As Riker, Ferguson, Easton, Borman, Gaworski, Loy, and Welch are on for this power play. Puck's going to be won by the Grizzlies here. But retrieving this puck now is Brooks Gaworski. Dumps it behind the net where 7 now picks it up. 7 will try and work this off the wall as Gaworski pins his man to the wall. Joined by Ferguson on to help out. 92 will try to throw this along further. Found by Ferguson. Comes to the point man. That's Grant Loya. Loya will throw this deeper into the zone. Ferguson's trying to get this puck. He's being held up in front of the net. Ferguson has it. Correction, Gaworski has it. Finds Ferguson. He's got Loya walking in back door. May have offsetting penalties here. As Gaworski is going to sit down along with a Grizzly player. So the Pens will still be on the power play for the next 51 seconds. Wilson steps in with Davis and Paris on the backside, Stark and Fritchie. Slight delay here. As penalties are being put up onto the board. 7:48 to go in the second period. Officials coming over to check things out. Game number 3 between the Oakland Junior Grizzlies and your 2015 Pens Elite. I'm having some clock issues right now. Shot taken here by Brady Fritchie. It's going to be worked back to Davis. Unable to corral that puck here is the Grizzlies are going to take this out on their PK. Goes behind the net, out of the reach of Stark. Stark will move this up to Connor Wilson. Wilson headmans this puck up to Paris off of his stick blade. As Deroni throws it behind everybody. Stark tries to keep this in the zone. Chips out into the neutral zone. Stark has that puck. He has his skates pulled out. As Connor Wilson now walks in, he tries to split the D-man. and hits the deck here as Colt Davis tries to find Wilson, who is just getting to his feet. Stark hustles over to this puck. Back to 5-on-5 action now. As the Pens unable to cash in on that power play. 6:44 to go in the second period as the Grizzlies walk down. Shot taken. And it's rolled as a goal here over the right shoulder. Looked like it may have hit the bar. Officials are going to say it went into the net. And it's a 5-1 game. As the Grizzlies get their first of the morning. Able to kill off that power play. And second period. Goal from the Oakland Junior Grizzlies makes it a 5-1 game. Shot totals have gotten a little bit closer here. It's 20-9 now on the scoreboard as the officials get some things sorted out now. And we may even have a net repair here as it looks like that puck they're rolling that went through the net. So we're going to have a pause as some repairs are made to the top corner behind netminder number 29, Max Dragicic. Officials have some skate base out. Looks like they're going to tie this up. Both teams are going to go to their benches. And a recap here. Thanks for joining us. 8 a.m. start here for game number 3 on the season and game number 3 of the series between the Pens Elite and the Oakland Junior Grizzlies. Pens hopped out to an early 5-0 lead before that goal that went through the net by the Oakland Junior Grizzlies. And that's where we stand here. 5-1 is the score. Pens are going to be off next weekend before hosting the Little Flyers coming in from Philadelphia in 2 weeks. So if you haven't had the chance to join us at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex this weekend, we'll be back in action in 2 weeks before the boys will go on the road for a one-day trip up to Buffalo to take on the Junior Sabres the following week. And we're set to resume action here as Riker Ferguson steps in. He steps into his man as the puck goes behind the net. '91 now has this puck. Elsey tries to headman this puck further. Able to contest that now is Riker Ferguson on the half wall. Moves it down to Fritchie. Nice little spin move along the wall to protect the puck. He's pinned though. As 91 now walks out. Sends it to his winger, 66. 66 chips this behind Loya. As the Grizzlies make a change. Coming out of the zone now is Bingham Green. He thinks about going to Mason Fritchie, curls back himself and finds Riker Ferguson, who dumps it deep into the zone. Pens are going to make a wholesale change. Able to change up their D grouping, and now their forward group. Back to center now come the Oakland Junior Grizzlies as they walk in, and Easton Borman now circles back. Tries to headman this up to a streaking number 8, Connor Wilson, walking down the right wall. Connor Wilson still has this puck, still on, and still loose in the crease, pulled down. Good power move there by Connor Wilson. Just slipped off his stick and still almost slipped into the nets. And 89 is going to go to the box as the Pens go right back to the power play here for the second time in the second period. Third overall in the game. They cashed in the first period with a PPG. As Wilson's calling out instructions here on the power play. 89 in the box. Well, he's going to try and ship this back. He does ship it back to Welch, but beyond his stick. Bailed out there by Dragosic. As Foreman now falls down. Wilson goes to Welch. Welch, long shot, glove down, still loose. It's going to go all the way down the ice here for an icing call. The Pens are going to come right back into the offensive zone. And they change up their troops. As Fergie now steps in for the draw, one by Junior Grizzlies, sends it off the equipment of a teammate, 92. No further as 13 can't work this along. Ferguson tries to chip it around the official, gets caught in his equipment, finds the stick now of Brady Fritchie. Fritchie throws it behind the net to Ferguson. Ferguson now has it. Ferguson looking for a teammate. He's got Davis in front, goes back to the point man. That's Nenevisa. Nenevisa is going to go right back down the wall, intercepted by 44, chipped off of 13. 13 now in a battle with Nenevisa. Ferguson on to help out, chipped back to Nenevisa. Nenevisa backhands this over to Brady Fritchie. He's got some daylight. Try to work at the Paris back door, deflects off the stick of 13. 13 now has it on the wall. 5 seconds to go on the power play. As it looks like the Pens are not going to cash in on this attempt, but Brady Fritchie brings it back in, back to 5-on-5 action. Brady Fritchie still has this puck, works it back door to Davis. Davis gets some wood on that, just not enough as it goes wide of the net. As it squirts now below the goal line to 44. 44 is going to work this back to the neutral zone where Loya comes over to contest. Chips it off the wall to himself. Loya's going to go off the backhand of Welch. Welch is going to try and move this to Davis. Davis falls down as the Pens try to get this back into the offensive zone. Regroup here by the Junior Grizzlies. They're going to dump this right back into the zone. It's going to be long enough for an icing. As the Pens go right back into the offensive zone to the right of netminder number 39, Colby. As the Pens set their face-off play here, 2:56 to go in the second period. Wilson at center throws it back to Welch. Welch has this puck, takes a long shot, deflects off of equipment here, finds Wilson. As it's thrown back into the Pens D zone where Loya chips it back to Welch. Welch gets his head up. He goes to Wilson. Wilson skates back into the offensive zone, comes in 1-on-3, toe drag move. As Wilson now has this puck. Goes to Mason Fritchie. Fritchie over to Bingham Green. Green looking for his third of the day. Goes behind the net here where Mason Fritchie goes to work. Stark falls down. It's going to squirt out of the zone here. He's able to recover. And it's Stark that gets this puck. Right back on the attack, coming the Pens elite as Bingham Green delays, tries to get a shot through. Stick down nicely by Fritchie. It's going to be a 2-on-1 potentially here as the Grizzlies have numbers. They walk in on Stark, shot taken 3 feet over the net. As Mason Fritchie now works this puck back past center red. He's got Bingham Green going with him. They're 2-on-4 right now. And they're going to go for a change. As Riker Ferguson goes to Mason Fritchie one time behind the net. Ferguson tried to work that quickly out in front to Gaworski. Squirts out it's still loose, covered up now by Colby. The netminder as Gaworski was looking for loose change to cash in. 1:20 to go now in the second period. Flurry of activity in the Pens offensive zone, unable to put it behind Colby here in the second frame. Ferguson steps in now, joined by Gorski and Borman. Borman works this back to the point man. It's Grant Loya. Long shot taken. Swallowed up by Colby. No rebound. And we'll do it all over again with 1:13 now on the clock. Fergie stops in for the draw. And he wins this himself. Goes back to Loya. Loya sends it to the far wall, where Gaworski's run into. Borman's over to help out. Thrown behind the net by 17, looking for a teammate number 98. Chipped it around Loya. Foot race here between 98 and 77. That's CJ Nenavisa. 98 comes in. Shut down by Dragicic. Squirts loose in the crease as Borman comes back to clean up the garbage. Long shot, gloved down by Dragicic. He'll hang on for a whistle. 38.1 to go in the second period now, as the Penguins change up their personnel grouping. Definitely some pushback from the junior Grizzlies here in the second frame, but the score remains 5-1. As Connor Wilson will step in, joined by his line mates on this shift, Colt Davis and Blake Paris. And it is Blake Paris with the puck right now as he enters the offensive zone. He's got Wilson going with him. Paris has the puck. He delays. Pretty feed to Connor Wilson, and it's in the back of the net. Connor Wilson sends home the feed from number 25, Blake Paris. Paris got that puck entering the offensive zone. Delayed. Froze the netminder. Throws it into the slot for a tap in by number 8, Connor Wilson, who's off to a hot start here in the 25-26 campaign. Now the Pens are looking for more in this 6-1 game. Get the late second period goal. Colt Davis now enters, throws it through the slot, still loose, as 8's going to bring this back into the neutral zone. Going to try and work this around Wilson, where Welch is going to go back for this puck now. Throws it behind the net to Nico Stark, and that's going to be it for the second period, as we close 2 with a 6-1 Pens Elite lead. 25-12 the shot totals. We'll be back for the third period in a moment. Minutes on the clock for third period action at game number 3 between the junior Grizzlies and the Pens Elite. 6-1 the score here live on Cine TV from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, as Max Dragicic swallows up that shot from the Grizzlies number 66. As 8 seconds ticked off the clock here in the third period, Ferguson steps in for the D-zone draw, joined by Fritchie and Green on the backside. Nenavisa and number 9, Brady Fritchie. Nenavisa swings this on his backhand up to the half wall, where Bingham Green gets a stick on that puck momentarily. Now on the stick of number 9, moves it forward to Nenavisa. Nanavisa contested by 66, where Elsie, number 91, has been noticeable today, as 7 will chip this into space where 66 is bumped into by Nanavisa. Now Ferguson works this behind to Fritchie. Fritchie tries to go back to him. 12 moves this along further as Matera, number 9, turns this over to the Pens, number 9, Brady Fritchie. Headmans the puck up to Bingham Green. Green tried to work this to Mason Fritchie. He's got a step behind the defense. He's hauled down. Shot attempt goes wide of the net. As back to center, here comes 91. He's going to try and work around Loya. As in front of the net now, Welch has this puck. Moves it up to Gaworski. Gaworski, one touch back. Borman, the Pens are back on the transition. Borman is slowed up there. As the puck comes back to the neutral zone where Welch now has this. Welch is going to send it into space to Gaworski. Connor Wilson now enters in. He possesses. Delays. Unable to get through as 88 is going to try and work this back up to the point. Welch chips this forward to Wilson. Now on the puck is number 74. That's Easton Borman. Third period, 6-1 the score. Comes high and out of the zone as a foot race is underway here as 98 tries to work around and backhands it off the right blocker of Dragicic, able to shut things down. As Welch is going to come over from his D spot. He's hauled down. Wilson's hooked up. As Easton Borman delays around a man. Still has this on his stick. Worked it like with a Fergie pinned up against the wall by 3. Junior trying to work this puck away from him. Squirts free to Cole Davis. He's got open at the point. Goes to Nico Stark. Jumps up. Goes right back to Stark. Tries to get it off. It's poked off of his blade as 93. Riker Ferguson moves it to 25. That's Blake Perry. Ferguson works it to Stark. Stark, long shot. Deflects off of the netminder. And back to center as we'll have another icing call as Nico Stark goes back. And we'll work it back into the offensive zone. 6-1 is the score. 11:50 now to go in the third period. Max Dragicic has stopped 13 of the 14 Oakland Grizzlies shots that he's faced so far today. And Riker Ferguson set for the draw with Davis and Paris. Fritchie bumps into his man as Nico Stark collects the goods behind the net, backhands it up off the glass. And Colt Davis tries to power move here and comes high in the zone to the stick of Grant Loya, right-handed defenseman. Long shot taken, but comes to the half wall. Nanavisa forces his man to dump it into the zone as Loya goes back to collect. Grizzlies are making a change now behind the play. Wilson makes the first man miss, tries to make the second man miss. Grizzlies are able to get to this puck as Davis runs into a guy. As Connor Wilson tries to work this along. 66 steals the puck off of him, though. And it goes to Grant Loya. Loya now has it behind the net. Backhands it up to Mason Fritchie, number 4. Try to go back to Wilson just in front of him. As 9 now brings it back into the D zone. As he's defended by Welch. Nanavisa chips this up off the wall, and he's planted by number 9. Penalty coming up. As number 9 is going to go to the box for some body contact as CJ Nanavisa draws a penalty. He's able to get up. And the Pens are going to go on, I believe, their 4th power play of the game. Pens face-off play set here. 10:19 to go. Pens are out the top lane. Nico Stark has the puck. Stark send this behind the net. He's going to pinch down. Tries to move this to Bingham Green. Bingham Green now has the puck. He's got Stark open at the point. Goes to Stark. Stark now walks down the wall. Tries to go across. Squirts in the slot. He'll lose. Bingham Green tries to put it home. Penguins looking for a rebound. Puck still loose here. And finally a whistle here with 1:07 on the power play. Fergie out here with Fritchie and Bingham Green, Stark and Welch. Pens get another face-off play set up here. But the Grizzlies have something to say about it as they win the draw. They're going to throw it long. Foot race here as Welch is going to try and collect this puck. He's in on 98. He wins that puck battle, and the Pens go back on the attack. It's clogged up in the neutral zone here as Nico Stark's going to walk out. And the Pens change up their D personnel. 36 to go on the power play. As collecting this puck now is forward number 4, Mason Fritchie. Comes through right now, number 9, Brady Fritchie. He takes a stick into the skates as Easton Borman goes back in on the attack. And he's looking for more offense here. Centering pass attempt, trying to find the stick of Gaworski. Unable to get through, though. Brady Fritchie now has it on the half wall. He's walking, still has the puck. Goes to his back. Gets a shot off the left pad. Gaworski looks for the rebound, unable to get it through. Wilson now has the puck. We're back to 5-on-5 action. Pretty pass there from Wilson to Borman. Gaworski finds that puck off the left shin pad of number 13. As number 8, Connor Wilson has it high in the zone. Tried to send it through to Borman. Gaworski collects. Now it's Wilson now with the squirt free to the throws it across to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie dumps it in. He's going to go for a change now. And this is going to be sent all the way down the ice. For an ice. With 8:08 to go in the third period. Offensive zone face-off coming up. 6-1 the score. Shot totals right now on the scoreboard here at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. 29-14. Pens looking to start the year 3-0. And have the advantage, a 5-goal advantage right now. Face-off taken by Fergie. Pushes this forward as Davis tries to get to this puck. Welch is able to chip this back up to Fergie. Fergie walked into the offensive zone. Shot taken wide of the net. And it looks like Fergie may be going to the box here, as he was run into and put the Grizzly player on. So the Pens are going to go back on the PK with 7:51 to go in the third period. As Ferguson goes to the box. And Blake Paris with 2 shorthanded goals already on the season, with one of those today, steps in to take this draw. Paris is going to win this back to the wall. Welch is going to go back to it, throws it behind the net to Loya. Loya, like clockwork here, gets it out of the zone. Not long enough for icing, as 8's going to go back to collect it. Tries to throw it back to center. Loya takes that puck. But just ahead of the play was Colt Davis. Neutral zone faceoff coming up with 1:16 to go on the penalty to 93 Riker Ferguson. Parrish steps in for this draw. Welch now picks it up. He's going to dump it deep. Davis now picks off Fergie. They're able to change their deep pairing on the ice now. Stark. The stick no further. Dumped back to center by the Junior Grizzlies 98. He picks up some speed through the neutral zone. He's going to try a long shot wide of the net. Covered up by Dragosic. Takes an extra poke there by 89. And the Pens are just going to skate away here as they have the 5-goal advantage as we approach the later stages of third period action. As Bingham Green steps in to take this face off. Green wins this back. Clean win there by Bingham Green to Brady Fritchie. Puts it off the wall. Soft enough to not be an icing call. And takes some more. Hey. Bingham Green goes back to collect this puck. Contested on in the neutral zone. As the Grizzlies try to regroup, they work it up to Elsie, number 91, over his stick blade. Able to collect it through the legs of Stark. Elsie now brings us in over the left shoulder of Dragosic, and that's a power play goal for number 91. Goes top shelf there over goaltender number 29. Makes it a 6-2 game. So the Grizzlies pick up their power play goal here. They had a even strength goal earlier today. The Pens' response has been strong all weekend. Anytime the Grizzlies have gotten a goal, they come right back next shift and put one into the back of the net. We'll see if they can respond right now as Mason Fritchie puts it right back into the offensive zone. 6-2 now the score, 6:18 to go in the third period. Nenevisa in a foot race now with 91, the goal scorer. 91 throws it off the left pad. Rebound. Big save there by Dragosic. The juicy rebound came out into the slot. 88 tried to put it back home. Bingham Green goes right back on the attack. Bingham Green gets his back from Mason Fritchie. Long shot taken. Blocker 39. Swallowed up by netminder number 39. Offensive zone faceoff coming up 5:51 on the scoreboard here. 30-17 the shot totals. Dragosic has stopped 15 of 17 Grizzly shots this morning. Draw. As the Grizzlies are going to work this back. As a 2-on-1 develops here, 92 is coming around. He works around Welch, sticked away there at the last second. As Nico Stark is able to work under the point man. And it's off the right pad and stick. As Brooks Kowarski's going to lead the rush here. Welch sends us further along to Borman. Borman off of his stick. Neutral zone play now as 66 looks to collect this puck. He dumps it into the defensive zone. 4:45 to go in the third period. As it squirts free to Borman. Easton Borman puts it off the wall, back to the neutral zone. Some more time ticks off the clock here. 4:23 now showing on the scoreboard as Nenevisa works it around number 89. Still has it on his stick. He's going to lead the rush here. CJ Nenevisa looks for an option. Covering the point is Blake Parrish. Squirts out of the zone. Neutral zone faceoff coming up. 4:09 now showing on the scoreboard. Connor Wilson steps in, flanked by Davis and Paris. 66 chips it around. Body of Nenevisa. He's able to get to that puck first. The 66. He's tied up by Nenevisa, though. as Connor Wilson battles with 91. 91 to 9, 9 to 80, correction, 66. Squirts free to 9, tries to get the shot through, still loose, picked up by Loya. Loya's run into by Matera number 9 now, as we are under 4 minutes to play. Game number 3 between these two teams. 8's going to be run into by Connor Wilson. Thrown behind Dragosic, where 88 is bodied into by Nenavisa. Wilson hit puck up to Davis, kept by 8 though. As Wilson unable to get up, as there's a stick in the skate of Wilson. As they're trying to work it free from the skate blade of Connor Wilson. And the officials are over to help out. As a D-zone faceoff, I think Wilson's looking for, trying to buy a penalty call as a steal just slipped out. As he's going to work his way back to the bench. As 3:16 on the scoreboard here to the left of netminder Dragosic. Fergie steps in for this draw. It's going to be one back clean to the point man. That's number 8, Kane. Pass is going to be picked off here by Mason Fritchie. He's got Green 2-0, develops, goes up to Bingham Green. Bingham Green snaps a shot. Right shoulder save. Correction, left shoulder save. Welch is going to pinch down here to collide with his man. As Nico Stark is able to collect this pass. Falling down, though, is Bingham Green. He gets back up, gets to this puck. Mason Fritchie leads the attack now. Mason Fritchie works around the netminder. It gloves this down. 2:44 to go in the third period now. Offensive zone faceoff coming up. (6-2) remains the score. As the Pens set up a fake-off play here off beat depth by East here on the far wall. And it's worked to Connor Wilson. Wilson's going to work this. Tries to work this along. Noah Welch is now going to step up. He has it at the point. He's looking for an option. Leaves it for Gaworski. Switches with Gaworski. Gaworski still has this puck. Long shot taken. Glove down. (2:18) to go on the third period clock here as puck gets tied up along the wall. Back at the gate. And looks like the repair's working there as it's funneled right back into the D zone. Neat. Picked up Nenavisa. Nenavisa moves it over to ready for feedback Wilson. As the Pens complete a change here, 1:19 to go in the game. As number 17 is going to work this back off the body of Loya. As it goes behind the net here, Welch is not going to pick this up. Gets it up to Paris. Pens may have another rush here as it's picked up by Welch. Welch is now going to lead this rush. Welch is going to try and work around a couple guys. Delays shot off the chest protector of netminder number 39. 56.4 on the clock. Puck going to squirt off the face-off to the wall, goes behind the net where number 4 is going to collect it. He tries to reverse it back. Kept in the zone by Blake Paris. Walking forward now is Colt Davis. Colt Davis centering pass attempt. As the Grizzlies are going to try and walk out of the zone, centering pass. Walsh now gets to this puck. He's over to Grant Loya. With 29 to go in the game, sticked away nicely by Drag, where Paris comes over to work for this puck. Welch now tries to skate this up to Paris and does. As the Pens are back in the offensive zone, 13 to go. As 9-1 works his back into the zone. Good defensive play there by Blake Paris, and it looks like out of the zone here. A shot off of Blake Paris after the whistle there off his hand. And that's going to do it for game number 3. Your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite are victorious. Final score here from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, 6 for the Pens Elite. Oakland Grizzlies 2. Thanks for joining us this weekend on Cine TV. The Pens are going to be off next weekend for this 2015 team. They'll be back in action in 2 weeks as they take on the Little Flyers right here from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. But the final score here today, Pens Elite 6 and the Oakland Grizzlies 2.